There has been much speculation of late that there is discontent and disunity within the Team Unity coalition. This despite public overtures from leaders within the coalition that they are still committed to unity and that the government remains strong. One of the proponents of the view of disunity is social commentator and former government minister Dwyer Astafan in his latest commentary.
The evidence is compelling and overwhelming. What evidence? The evidence that the experiment which was launched some years ago under the name Team Unity has failed. Don't mind the pretty cosmetic kind of stuff that you're seeing. Don't bother with that. Get behind the mask, like the Calypsonian sang. There is neither team nor unity in it. This is a house at war with itself. And it is like that because the people who are in leadership positions are not capable, are not committed to doing any better for the country, and the leadership is wrong. They are at each other's throats like hyenas, and while they're doing that, the cabinet is being run as a free-for-all. Everybody does his own thing, and other persons don't invade his turf or territory. 2 members of cabinet, in an incident whose origins go back maybe 10 years, are found liable by a civil court of having misappropriated a client's funds. Nobody can do anything to them. Another, now departed from the parliament, used to travel up and down the world, business class, top hotels. Now an ambassador living in an apartment paid for by the people, on ZIZ owned by the people, every week insulting and abusing people. And nobody can do anything about it. Timothy Harris wants him in there, needs him in there, it seems. Again, nobody can do anything about it.
But Prime Minister Dr. Timothy Harris, at the latest handing over of houses in his constituency on Friday, said his party, the People's Labour Party, is committed to Team Unity.
That is why we in the People's Labour Party are pledged to unity forever. Unity within PLP. Unity within Team Unity. Unity in the country. That is what we are pledged to do.
Earlier this year, in an interview on Win FM, Premier Mark Brantley was asked about comments made by Unity supporters that his party, the Concerned Citizens Movement, and the People's Action Movement, PAM, is causing a rift within the coalition.
One of my biggest concerns now about unity, since you asked me to be frank, and being frank, is that a lot of the people around some of the political parties seem to have taken it upon themselves that it is their right, and in fact, some may say that they have taken it to the point where one wonders if it's their job to attack other members of Unity. But some of the vitriol that is coming from some so-called supporters of some element of Team Unity against other members is something that is very concerning to me. And I think the public sees that, and that feeds the idea that Unity is in trouble. Because people say, well, how that boy there who's so close to so-and-so could be cussing? And, you know, people see it. And so when people see it, they say, oh, well, it has to be that so-and-so is enabling, empowering, encouraging. And so you wonder sometimes if that's what they get money for. That's what they get paid to do.
Make you wonder.
But I'm not engaged in that. The CCM is not engaged in that. And I'm urging the other members of Unity to rein in these rogue elements that they have and tell them, listen, go sit down and behave themselves.
SK Newsline asked PAM Chairman Jonelle Powell about the strength of the coalition.
Supporters may not always agree with everything we do or what coalition partners do. And so I have noticed an increase in banter, particularly in social media. I've also noticed that a lot of the chatter is coming from obvious fake profiles. And so it does also beg the question, who's really behind it? If it's a third party trying to cause confusion, you don't know. But where you have clearly identified supporters of coalition parties going at each other, going at members of the coalition, I certainly would like to call for it to stop, to end. It is not helpful to the coalition or to the country. We went into this coalition some years ago and agreed on a way forward. And certainly from the People's Action Movement standpoint, we continue to stand behind those agreements and what we agreed to in the best interest of the country. And so when you have that sort of bickering from known supporters, it is not helpful.
As the political conventions of both the PLP and the People's Action Movement loom in the coming months, political watchers will be taking close note of the happenings to determine whether Team Unity remains a cohesive unit or a fractious relationship. I'm Andre Huey for SKN Newsline.